Okay, before I start, I want to show you my head shape because I have a whole playlist now that I'm going to link with head shape. Now, I have over 2,500 videos, so going through every video where they mention head shape is going to be hard, but I'm trying to put it on. So they said, oh, you're wearing your hair like this so that people can see that your head shape is more square. So that's what they said. Okay, so I'm going to put this radio on like I did in the other video so that when they start to say something, will hear the sound. So they're like, why don't you let you guys listen to them? I don't want them to have a platform. They have enough of a platform following me around. Um, there was a video I watched that talked about a young man who has a disability. It includes his hearing. And he wasn't supposed to graduate from high school with a diploma. He was supposed to graduate as a disabled student so that he could go on to vocational training. So they said, oh, you're going to link that video. No, I was going to create a post. And I had been linking it to a previous two videos where they mentioned me talking about an incident in 1997. And they thought I was going to link it to another video. So I'm going to link all the videos in this description of this video so that you guys, if you're interested, can take a look at it. But why I think it was coming up is because obviously there's a problem if a disabled student has to be pushed along without getting the proper education. That isn't a good education. So they talked about that in reference. They talked about it. I'll know the dates when I link the original videos, but they talked about it in reference to something that happened in 1997, which they got wrong. So I'm not going to tell you the full story. Again, that was what, 1997. Today, this is 2024. So the other big deal about that is when they're talking about these stories, and it's still something that's going on in the news today. You can tell how when I talked about in the book, my teacher described me as provocative, meaning not sexually provocative, but thought provoking. That if I'm having these conversations in 1997 and it's still relevant today, that would be a reason why they want to listen to me and clone what I have to say in my personality. They wanted to clone my thought process, meaning something that we're talking about decades later and is still relevant is interesting. So, part of what they thought was that they thought I was going to be stupid and think that there was something that I had done wrong at the time. If it wasn't dealt with at the time, it wasn't anything that I did wrong. They twisted and lied about things. I also have a new playlist called Times They Said Never. They said never use the word never, but they use the word never a lot. So as I've mentioned with the other playlist, it's going to take me a while to get a list of all the times when they say never, but I'll start doing that so that as they're trying to monitor me, I'm monitoring them. They also got upset because they laughed and they said I don't have any friends. Weren't they the same ones who pretended to be my friends and gave me all these cards and letters saying how much they value my friendship? Again, you can't prove what a person is without proving what a person is. They didn't like the fact that I said the way you meet a person is really who they are. And they said, well, that means you can't really change. These people don't change. And I think that was a big deal. I think in our world, we tend to think that people will change. People have to want to change. If they like who they are and decades later saying the same thing, then that's who they are. The other big deal is that they were talking about a video I filmed in the hallway. If I film it in the common hallway, there isn't a problem. That's a common hallway. That's not invading anyone's privacy. It's a common hallway. They did that to me a lot of times. Oh, they just tried to say something. So I'll link that video also. So there are a lot of things that now they want privacy when they weren't giving me any privacy. And this is partly the issue. As I'm linking these videos and showing you these things, and they're upset now after the fact that it's going public, and fortunately some people are actually looking at my videos. That's probably more the issue. They keep saying they were going to keep me hidden. They wanted to change my race. I'm going to put this down, and just move over so you guys can see me in the light. So they keep trying to change my race. My race is my race. I'm 51. Today's my birthday, by the way. I'm 51 years old. I've been this race for 51 years. They keep lying and pretending that I wasn't always West Indian. People I went to high school knew I was West Indian. I don't know why this is now a big deal. They're like, well, if your mother's West Indian and white, then what does that make you? I don't know. It makes me a black person. West Indians, we always identify as black people. We don't identify as non-black people. They tried to lie and say that my father wasn't a West Indian. He is. He was. I look like a West Indian for a reason. Both parents are. So let's stop getting on that. So they kept trying to figure out how come I can't be identified with someone Southern. I was never identified with anyone Southern. That's part of the issue. I don't understand why at 51 years old, all of a sudden I'm going to be identified with a Southern group of people that I was never identified with. When my older relatives were on this planet, they didn't identify any of us as anything other than West Indian Americans. Thank you for watching.